Hey, this is Shooter Jennings. You're tuned into Pavlina's Kidz Place.
Hey everyone, this is Pavlina from Pavlina's Kidz Place, and I'm on location in Daytona Beach at the Bruce Rossmeyers Harley-Davidson Destination Daytona with singer Shooter Jennings. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me on the show. It's pretty cool.
Yes, well, thank you for joining me. We're around a lot of motorcycles. Do you have any motorcycles?
I do not have a motorcycle. I don't drive motorcycles. I've been on a motorcycle like twice in my life. When I was young, we had some family friends that died on motorcycles. My dad, at a young age, was like, "Hey, I'm not gonna tell you." This is kind of the way he was. He's like, "I'm not gonna tell you not to do this, but I'm gonna ask you not to ride motorcycles because I'm worried." And I was like, at the time, I was so into music and stuff, I didn't really care. Plus, I'm pretty clumsy, but there's a part of me that wants to ride them. I just don't ever find time.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of not a big motorcycle guy.
I'm not either. It's okay. But if you did get one, what kind would you get?
See, I probably like a Ducati or something, even a crotch rocket. I get my ass beat around here for saying that, but I like you know what I like, the cop motorcycles that they have. Seen a friend of mine had one done matte black, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'd be into that.
That's awesome. Okay. So I talked to Lukas Nelson like a couple years ago, and we were talking about his dad, who basically grew up in a tour bus, which was really fun. So what was it like growing up for you?
It was the same. I mean, as a little kid, I grew up on a tour bus. Once I started school, I would be in school, and then I'd go on the road in the summers, unless they went overseas, and I would do that. But yeah, man, I mean, you kind of take it for granted. At least I did. Like when I was young, I was into my things, and that was what my dad did, and I was just kind of used to it, But I'm pretty grateful for it now because it's something I've adapted to and been around a long time and enjoy doing.
Awesome. Great. That's cool. So growing up, kids have all kinds of obstacles. What kind of obstacle did you have, and how did you overcome or deal with it?
Phew, obstacles. Man, I wasn't that popular in school. It was weird. I was like, I was dorky. I was like nerdy, but I was also like, into music and stuff. But I didn't really fit in with any group. Which I think was the obstacle that I finally have come over in my life, that I'm never going to fit in with any group, not to worry about it. There's just so much pressure of that in school, of like fitting in, being cool. I got lucky enough I went to a lot of schools where it was not cool, and my last 2 years of high school, I went to this school in Nashville called University School, and it was like where every kid didn't fit in with anybody, so everybody fit in with each other. It was like, a community, and I loved it. I enjoyed it, I think that was my thing, is that they make you feel like you're supposed to fit in, and, you're way cooler if you don't fit in, you know what I mean?
That's awesome. It's really cool. Yeah, definitely. So, how do you say, how would you, get your influences for your music or, your style?
Wow, my influences are pretty broad because I grew up as an MTV kid. Like, I was listening to my favorite band when I was, your age. How old are you?
15.
15, all right. When I was 15, my favorite band was 9 Inch Nails. So, I had this record, The Downward Spiral, came out that year, and that was, a huge record for me, and that it was kind of the reason why I started playing music, was that record, because I was into computers and played drums and piano, and Trent Reznor played piano and kind of made all that music by himself, which at the time was pretty unheard of. So listening to that really got me into playing music, and then through that I discovered, as a little kid I liked my dad's music and stuff, but I didn't really like country, and so through 9 Inch Nails I discovered David Bowie, and that led me to the glam rock thing, and then to the Beatles and Pink Floyd, and I kind of started tracing backwards, and then got really deep into music. And I have a radio show that I do on Sirius, so I'm always pulling music and listening to more music, and kind of that guy. And so after I kind of went through rock, when I hit about 20 or 21, I started really understanding country music and the lyrics and the beauty of it. And so I kind of fell in love. And I got to say, Hank Jr. had a lot to do with it, because Hank Jr. was, at the time I had gotten into Leonard Skinner and the Allman Brothers and stuff, and started getting closer and closer and closer to country. And Hank Jr. was kind of a bridge between Southern rock and country, and I really got into his stuff. And then I got into Hank Sr., and then I started digging, deeper into a lot of stuff. My dad grew up in Jimmy Rogers and stuff, and so, and then so I kind of fell in love with country. So, for me, it comes from all over the place. I really love the songwriting in country and the sentiment and the honesty, but I like a lot about rock and roll too, and I like music being experimenting musically the Nine Inch Nails side of me still is there, So it's like I always want to kind of bring that in too. Any kind of one of those parts of my brain that go, I want to kind of bring that all together. So it's kind of hard for me to pinpoint one thing that's like kind of how to understand my musical influences, but it's just from absorbing my whole life of being on record and
That's really cool. You have a wide range. So
yeah, well, so do you. I mean, all those people that you interviewed, from Vanilla Ice to the Avett Brothers, you got some pretty broad people you've met.
Yeah.
I imagine I would like to wonder what's going on in your brain, because you've heard all these people explain their influences and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. It's really cool. I try to get a lot of different variety of people. So
Yeah, very big diversity.
yeah, definitely. So what's the biggest surprise that a lot of people don't know about you? Like a favorite cartoon, or do you collect anything?
Well, I collect old video games and old computers.
Oh, nice.
I love cartoons. I loved He-Man when I was a kid. He-Man, Skeletor, and all that stuff. It was real big. Transformers, G.I. Joe, the original stuff like that. I mean, I'm still into all that stuff. I still, me and my lady watch 80s cartoons like the USA Cartoon Express and all this stuff that we grew up watching. So, yeah, man. I mean, I'm into all things nostalgic from the 90s and the 80s, pretty much.
Awesome. That's great. That's really cool. So I mentioned, Lukas Nelson, and I heard you guys are doing a project together.
Yeah, we're doing a record together. We're about halfway done with it, and we just we started last year and haven't finished, but we're gonna. But we were just on Kid Rock's Chillin' the Most cruise, which was like a 5-day, 3-show cruise thing, and we did one song from the record. I play drums and piano on the record, and he plays bass and guitar. So like I got behind the drums and he got it, and we did a song. So that was fun.
Nice.
I love Lukas. He's very talented, and we are having a lot of fun working together.
Definitely. He's really nice. So what are your upcoming plans and events?
Well, I have this record that just came out called The Other Life, that has a little bit of language on it. So I'm just warning the kids out there. But The Other Life came out, so we're going on tour right now. We're starting that off, and all through April we'll be on tour, and then throughout the rest of the year just kind of promoting it. And then hopefully that'll overlap with the Lukas thing, because I'd like to just go ahead and get that record out and go on the road with him and do that. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Awesome. That's great. Well, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you so much. You're very nice. I appreciate you letting me be on the show.
Yes.
I get home from a long day, put on the radio, looking for some country soul, but I don't find it, no. It's a dirt road free for all. Some old boys saying they're out